everyone, I'm Hélène from Team Supremacy and I'm here with Yoav, who came top 8 for the Buddyfight BCS in France. So, can you tell us what you were playing?
So I was playing Katana World, the Oni version.
Okay, so how did you do overall? What were the most difficult matchups you had?
I went 5-1 in Swiss, and the hardest matchups were the stall matchups, but especially the Dual Jäger one, because you can't do anything to the God Vortex, so that's why it's most difficult.
And were you expecting this matchup to face this deck in this tournament?
The thing to beat this matchup?
Yeah.
To beat this matchup, I just have to get my double attacker, and because we can't touch the soul of the Vortex, we can't rest the Vortex. So the only way to beat Jäger is to have the double attacker and go for double attack every turn. And
so it's the only one you lost to during Swiss?
Yep.
And then what happened in top 8?
So in top 8 I faced Dragon's Vi, but not the Neo Dragon version, it was the Zwei Dry version, and my mistake, so I lost to the Zwei, and my mistake was to be too afraid of the Gain, the transform, because I didn't read correctly the skill of the card. But now that I understood how to beat the Zwei, I know how to beat the deck. But
so you could have won the tournament.
Yeah. But yeah, I was too careful. So the thing I had to do to beat the Zwei was to force the Gaen and be like, okay, I won't draw during one turn, but the rest of the turn I will beat you.
But since it was best of 3, did you lose both games or?
I lost 2-0.
Okay.
Because I really didn't understood how to.
It was the same thing, always against the same card. You didn't know how to. Okay.
Yeah, it was just because of this card.
Okay. So overall, why did you choose this deck over other good decks like Executioners, for example?
Because I think that Oni is the best deck, because I feel like it has better matchups than Executioner, and I also think that it's one of the most skillful deck in the format, and it's a deck that if you have cards in hand then you can do something, while if you're playing Thunder Empire or Prism Dragon, you have only one way to play, and if you are in this desperate situation, then there is nothing you can do except playing your deck. But when you're playing Oni, you have a lot of options and you can always play in any situation.
Okay, and what was the easiest matchup you had during the day?
The easiest matchup was the Prism. Prism was really easy to beat because I have a good sideboard against Prism, and also a lot of cards in the main deck helped me to win the matchup.
Okay, so can you present us your deck now?
Sure, I will do that. So I play the Katana World, the buddy is Kureha. I love Kureha because of the artwork and because the card is really good. I use it as a buddy because it's a card that you always want to play in any game. I never had a game where I don't call the card, so that's why it's a good buddy in my opinion. So I will begin with the size 3s. I'm playing 4 Kiribuki. This is one of the main cards of the deck, except against Prism, because they can take any effect damage. So yeah, you can burn, double attack. It helped me to win so many games, so definitely 4 of it. Next I'm playing 2 Sturdy Oni. This is a card that makes you win the Jäger and the Prism matchup. because it has Soul Guard, move and double attack. So you double attack on the Jaeger, you feed the soul with your spell, and you move to the center to protect your life. And sometimes I have some games where I stole better than the Prism. So.
But did you get it against the Jagger deck?
No, I had one game. The one game I won against the Jaeger was the game I had the card.
Okay.
Next, playing 4 of the Buddy, Kureha. So one of the best cards of the deck. Really good card. Helps you to put out your combos, and yeah, really good card. Next, Free Rashomon. This is one of the cards you want to open with. Just like Kureha is a good card to open with, but Rashomon
Can you just explain the 2 cards? What they do?
Kureha, when it's cold, you can put an ambush from your drop zone into the hand, and when it's cold because of the ambush, you can put a card from your hand into the soul. So it helps you to activate your ambushes and make a +1 on call. And the Rashomon is call cost by 1 gauge, check top 3, put one of the cards into the soul, put the rest in the drop zone. It has move and soul guard. The soul guard is really good because you open with this, you can use other cards to feed the soul, and you have a card with like 2 souls on turn 0, and this is definitely the best turn 0 of the deck.
So why only 3? Why not turning 4?
Because there's a moment in the game where you don't want to have it anymore, and when you draw it, you're like, I'm going to charge the card. But I'm thinking about playing a 4th because it was the idea of the card that I had. Now I will test a 4 of it, a 4th. I will see what the deck is like when I will play 4, but
okay.
Yeah, this is something to test.
Okay, so moving on.
So for Ayo, so this is definitely one of the best cards of the deck also, but
all the cards are good.
yeah, that's what you say when you draw a card. It's like, oh, a good card. So Ayo, when it's called, check top 3, put a card in the soul of a card, and put the rest on the bottom of the deck. So you have Rashomon playing Ayo, check top 3, put a card, so it's an extra soul guard, and it's also, yeah, you can fetch 4 cards and feed the soul of any cards on the field, so really good card. And it also has the ambush skill, so the card has no default. Next, for Amanojaku. When it's called, you draw a card. If it's called by ambush, it's a size 0, so really good when you're playing with the Surioni, because you put it on the soul, in the soul, and when you soul guard, you're like, okay, thank you, you made me draw a card. So, yeah. Next, this is the tech cards of the deck. I play 1 of each. So 1 Yagyo, when it's called, you put a card from a soul in the drop zone when it's called because of the ambush. You can put 2 cards from the soul of a card on the field into the drop zone. Next is the item searcher, because I'm playing 2 different items, so it's always good to have the choice when you're getting cards from the deck. And finally, Kid Yasei, because it's an item destroyer, and one of it is good because it's a size 0, so same with the card, and you don't always have the sneak attack to destroy items, so yeah. Next is for Oni Convoy. This is the card you want to have in the end, because when you have this card, you have like 70% of the game. Seriously, because put a card from your hand into the soul of a card and draw a card. It's free, it fits the soul of the card, so for example Rashomon, Sturdioni, so and the draw, so yeah. Next, one of the best cards of the deck. Hiding
Which
Oni.
one is the best one?
I don't know, they're all good. They're all good. Cast cost, put a soul from a card into the drop zone and gauge a card, draw 2 cards. So you proc the ambushes and you draw. So
it's a good card.
really good card. And next, Free Banquet. This is a good card, but
but not very good.
but not good enough to play 4 of it. Because you have 2 skills, mill 3, add a monster to the end and put the rest into the drop zone. The second skill is put a card from the drop zone into the soul of a monster on the field. So same, it's like a fetcher. I don't know if it's, yeah, fetcher. You can fetch for any cards in the drop zone to put in the soul of a card. So again, you can fit the soul of Rashomon, Sturdioni to stall, and you can search for monsters if you have the card on turn 0 in your hand. So yeah. 3 at this fall. It works as a searcher too, because you can search for a card in the deck, put it into the soul face down, then when your opponent calls a monster, you can reveal the card. If it's the same size, you can destroy the monster, burn 2, and it procs the ambushes. So, really good. Next, I'm playing 3 Demon Way Akashigure. This is a card for Executioner, but it's insane in the Oni deck because you can mill with the Banquet and with Rashomon. So pay 1 gauge, draw a card. If you have 10 cards in the drop zone, draw a second card. So it's a pay 1 gauge, draw 2. Next, 3 under the table. Gauge 2, gain 1 life. If the card is sent into the drop zone from the soul of a card, you gauge 3.
Is it a good card?
It's a really good card. Because you know why this is good? Because
you gauge 3!
Because you gauge 3. Because there is assassination in the card name. So, next, one of the MVP.
Another one? Do you have any bad cards in the deck?
No, I don't think so. For Snake Gaze, pay 1 life, rest a monster on the opponent's field. This is really good against Prism and Bats and every other deck. Because you just stop an attack, you can stop the Kogar for Executioner, you can stop the Atura, you can stop the Bats, and you can stop in the mirror match the Sturdioni or the Ibuki.
So you basically prevents from standing the card, like that dice.
Yep.
Just doesn't have like...
Yep. Next, playing 4 Sneak Attack. So the cost is put a card from an Oni Assassin into the soul of an Oni Assassin into the drop zone and destroy a card on the opponent's field. So yeah, you can destroy set spells, items, monsters. So yep.
Not very good.
You can destroy anything on the field and the cost isn't even the cost. So next, playing 3 shields, Midnight Bodyguards. You can negate an attack and Soul Blast, gauge 1, gain 1 life. So again, the cost isn't the cost. 2 benefit. I don't know if you know the Shredded Scarce, I don't remember the card name, Optic Operation. Well, Benefit is doing both of the skills of the card. So I played the Optic Operation and I was like, hey, Benefit is doing both skills of the card, so why am I playing this card and not Benefit? So 2 Benefit, proc the ambushes, gauge 1, gain 2 life, so yeah. Next for the items, I'm playing 2 throwing blade and 1 slicing strings. The slicing strings is here when I have to stall with Sturdy Oni, because I put a card from my hand into the soul of the Sturdy Oni and gauge a card. So this is when I have to stall because I can feel the soul. And this is pay 1 gauge, destroy a monster. Destroy a monster when a monster is called on the field with by ambush. So I tend to prefer this card in a lot of matchups, but this is also good in some situations. So that's all for the main deck. And
how many cards?
60. Next I'm playing 1 Sturdy Oni in the side deck, a third, so because it helps to beat the stall matchups. Next, a second Yagyo to beat stall matchups. Next, 2 half kill to beat stall matchups. Next, 2 impacts to beat stall matchups, and also for the mirror match. So this is a really soul hate side deck. And next, 2 Apex of Ambush for rush matchups and mirror match. And also it's really good against bats because you can kill the Gobless? I don't remember the name. So yeah, you can kill the Gobless before the overcard touches the field, so your opponent won't charge and draw. And finally, 2 Hybrid Raya, because it's always a good card, but I don't think it will stay in my sideboard because in this format, well, most of the items aren't that good to rest. So yeah, I don't think it will stay in the sideboard.
Okay, so now are there any changes you've thought of and you think would be good against Zwei because you lost against that, or any difficult matchup in the game?
Well, I think that I don't have to change things to beat Zwei. The thing I had to change to beat Zwei is my idea of the matchup. But I think that there is a way to make the deck better, and I will test the impacts in the main deck. And it will make some slots in the sideboard for other interesting cards to play in sideboard, but most of the changes will be in the sideboard.
Okay.
So yeah, because I think that 1 Sturdy Oni in the sideboard isn't enough, for example.
Sure.
So yeah.
So are you going anywhere else to try to qualify for Worlds?
I will be in Huddersfield in approximately 1 month. I will be with no, sadly.
Going to Cardiff.
But yeah, I will be in Huddersfield and I will try to win because an English took our no, a Scottish took our French
qualifiers. So French has to take the English one, of course.
That's logic.
Yep, makes sense.
Okay.
Anything else you want to tell our viewers?
Thanks if you saw the entire decklist. I hope you understood my choices, and if there is something you don't understand or if you have advices to give me, then don't hesitate to put it in the comments.
How to beat English players.
For example. So yeah, thank you everyone, and I'll see you next time.
See you next time. Bye bye.
Bye bye.